All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a big one. We're breaking down a chapter that, honestly, changes everything in the Bibliomancers series. I'm talking about Chapter 89. This is it. This is the moment that the whole power structure of heaven gets put on blast. And we're going to walk through, step by step, how one person's words literally sparked a revolution. So the chapter kicks off in this packed TV studio. Picture this. Our protagonist, Jack, is supposed to be doing an interview, right? But she figures out almost instantly that something is up. This isn't an interview, it's a setup. Her real opponent isn't the pastor she's supposedly there to debate. Oh no, it's Elias. You know, the gatekeeper of this whole heaven operation, and he's just waiting off stage ready to pounce. So instead of just launching a direct attack, Jalaa does something really clever. She starts with a story. And this is such a brilliant tactical move. She uses a parable, which lets her just completely sidestep her opponent's defenses. She's not talking to them, not really. She's talking directly to the audience at home, all the Kens and Barbies whose entire worldview she's about to completely shatter. And this parable, it's seriously a masterclass in how to win an argument. It's perfectly designed to deconstruct the entire reality of this so-called heaven and just expose the big, fundamental lie at its core. So let's look at the step-by-step logic she lays out for everyone. So Jack just lays it all out, nice and simple. Step 1, you've got a system built on a really cheap, super unstable foundation. You know, a house of cards. Step 2, you have a workforce that's promised this great reward in the future for all their endless, back-breaking labor. But here's the catch, the crucial flaw. The moment that promise is supposed to be fulfilled, the whole thing is designed to collapse. It leaves everyone with absolutely nothing. And then, bam, she makes the connection crystal clear. She looks right at the camera and tells all the Kens and Barbies watching that they are the ones holding up the walls of this house of cards. Their eternal, non-stop work is the only thing keeping this whole system from falling apart. And what does that mean? It means they can never be allowed to stop working and actually claim the reward they were promised. It's a trap. Okay, so just as Jack lands this incredibly powerful opening punch, Elias decides he's had enough. He makes his move, he storms onto the stage, and he's not there just to have a friendly debate. His goal is to completely, totally discredit her in front of every single person in heaven. And his first attack is a big one. He tries to frame her as like a glitch in the system, a total error. He claims her file was misread and, whoops, she was never supposed to be in heaven in the first place. And then he drops this bombshell. After the broadcast is over, she's being sent directly to hell. He's trying to paint her as some kind of demonic outsider, so nobody will trust a word she says. But, and this is a huge but, in all his arrogance, Elias makes a critical mistake. He's trying to cut Pastor Kenneth down a peg, and in the process, he corrects him. He admits that it was actually God, not him, not Elias, who gave the pastor the points he needed for his ascension. Big mistake. And Jock, being Jock, immediately pounces on this. She points out the massive hole in his logic. Look, the pastor made a deal with Elias to become a preacher, but the reward, the ascension, came directly from God. See the problem? It means the deal itself was a total fraud. Elias tricked him into a lifetime of work that he never actually had to do to get his reward. So now the poor pastor is just completely caught in this logic trap. He has no choice. He has to admit he was tricked. And then, right there, live on air, he announces he's retiring. It is an absolutely stunning moment. It's Charmaine's first huge victory, and she won it purely with logic. Well, having totally lost the logical debate, Elias gets desperate. He goes low. He starts throwing out personal attacks. He brings up her mother's suicide, her ADHD, her agnosticism. He's trying to weaponize her entire personal history to make her seem broken and untrustworthy. It's a nasty move. But Jack is just a master at this. She turns every single accusation right back on him. She totally owns her past, she owns her diagnoses, and then she uses his attack on her agnosticism to deliver the knockout punch. She says, you know, a heaven that's run by a trickster that's built on slave labor and where there's no God to be found, well, that sounds a whole lot more like hell to me. And right there, that's the turning point. The debate is officially over. What happens next isn't an argument. It's a direct call to arms, and it's about to ignite a full-blown revolution. Jock just completely flips their reality on its head. She doesn't call it heaven anymore, she calls it a slave pen. And that's such a powerful gut punch of an image. She argues that all the Kens and Barbies are basically being kept as willing slaves, all thanks to a false promise. Why? Because if they ever stopped working, the whole system would just fall apart. And her call to action isn't some complicated plan, it's actually incredibly simple. First, she tells them, reclaim your real names. You are people, not dolls. And then she gives them the key to their own freedom, a simple, nonviolent collective refusal to work. That's it. And then it happens. You could cut the tension with a knife, and a single voice cuts right through it from the back of the studio. It's Jack's own Barbie. She stands up and reclaims her name, Sarah. That's the spark. And immediately another voice joins in, and then another one. It's like one single act of courage just set off this incredible chain reaction. Then a Ken joins in, and suddenly the sound isn't just coming from inside the studio anymore. You can hear it pouring in from the streets outside, a whole chorus of thousands of people all reclaiming their names. And in that one single moment, Eliza's entire house of cards just comes crashing down. Elias is just completely and utterly defeated. He gets ready to run. But before he disappears, he delivers this really chilling warning. He says he's not the one in charge. There's a boss, a true master of this realm. And Jox has just made an enemy of someone very, very powerful. But the chapter doesn't just end on that victory. It moves into the chaos that follows. The old world has been completely shattered. And now Jock has to figure out what in the world she's going to do next. So as she's leaving the studio, Jack finds out that her actions didn't just win her a revolution. They won her friends. Her driver, who tells her his name is actually Harry, and Sarah, the very first Barbie to speak up. They now see her as a liberator, and they decide to stick right by her side. So they get back to her bungalow, and suddenly, this glowing portal just materializes. An escape route. But with Elias's threat about his boss still ringing in her ears, she has absolutely no way of knowing, is this a path home, or is it a trap leading straight to hell? But you know what? The choice isn't just hers to make anymore. In this really powerful moment that shows just how free he is now, Harry links his arm with hers without a second of hesitation. He's not a servant just following orders anymore. He's a partner, and he's ready to face whatever comes next simply because he believes in her. And so together, the three of them step into the light. Jack has completely shattered one reality, only to leap headfirst into a total unknown. And man, what a cliffhanger. It leaves us with this one huge critical question. Has she finally found the way home? Or did she just walk straight into a trap set by Elias's mysterious and very powerful boss?